Hey everyone, Brad Chibalewski here, and this is the 104th episode of Shatter the Vein. There is so much to talk about happening from Super Evil Megacorp, in the game of Vainglory, and the tournaments, and changes, and everything that's happening. I felt like we just scratched the surface here on this episode, and we had to cut a few things. But man, there's so much to talk about. Lyra's coming, new Iron Guard contracts that we're gonna see. The Samsung project with Vulcan. Man, so many changes. Summer is coming. 1.19 is about to drop any day here. The season is coming to an end. Hopefully, everyone had a great time playing during the spring season, reached those skill tiers that we were all trying for, that we were hustling for, because we're going to see a reset. It's going to happen. So I got King Dingaling joining me on this episode. Super fun streamer. Everyone should be checking him out. This episode, man, we talked for a long time about these changes. It's a big one. We got to get into it. Let's do it. Episode 104. This is the 104th episode of Shatter the Vein. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and this is a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, I try to break down the news, gameplay, game tips, and hopefully we can all become better players together. And every week, bringing on new people from the community, streamers, YouTubers, developers. And this week, I have King Dingaling joining me. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's good to have you on. You've been streaming for a little while here, right?
It's been a full year.
Damn.
So last March was when I started streaming, and my first ever game was Vainglory.
Wow. So yeah, first game streaming on Twitch. That's crazy. And how'd you get into Vainglory then?
So last year's not E3. Wow, I got E3 still in the brain. Last year's PAX East. Okay. I go to PAX East, and I'm literally sitting in the Twitch booth when I'm not supposed to be. And I'm like, who are these people? There's the cosplayers. Everybody's on tablets. And I was so excited to meet Miss Vixen. And she's playing Vainglory. I'm like, what is this game? Okay. I'm literally sitting. I had no idea. And then I'm watching everybody play on stage. And I was like, this game looks awesome. Started talking to Playoff Beard. I don't know. I didn't know who he was. I thought he worked for Twitch. And all of a sudden, I'm playing the game. And I'm like, this game is awesome. I want to start streaming. I went home. Bada bing, bada boom. It just happened just like that.
Oh, that's awesome. So you were already like a big gamer then, going to PAX East before Vainglory. You're already into the game world pretty deep then.
A lot of people are like, Mario's my background. And I was one of those people literally hiding the floppy disk of Doom 95 from my parents. And then I would sneak upstairs and start playing Doom 95 while everybody else was sleeping because it was way too graphic at that time.
Sure, yeah. Pixelated blood.
Gaming's been a huge part of my life. And I worked for a gaming industry company. And then I decided to do some streaming and YouTube. And I did streaming back on Justin TV.
Oh, wow.
But okay. It went only for like 2 or 3 months. And I was like, man, this isn't for me. And then I kicked it hard. So here we are.
That's awesome. Were you playing other MOBAs or just games in general before?
League of Legends.
You played League. Okay.
Yeah, I played League since the beta. And then I started streaming it. And I didn't have the time. Life and things, as we all know, streaming can be really time extensive. Yeah. So I was like, man, this isn't the time for me. And then certain things happens. The planets aligned. The girlfriend went away, and bada bing, bada boom, here I am streaming.
That's all. So, man, do you still play League at all? Do you keep up with it?
I do. Okay. Once in a while, when I really want to hate my life, I just hop down and I'm like, I feel like I'm going to get in a bad mood today. Let's play a game of League. Woo-hoo!
Okay. I get my League enjoyment by just watching it now. I haven't played in, I think, 3 months now. And so I just watch people just to know what's happening and see kind of what other MOBAs are doing.
I really enjoy watching the tournaments and watching these teams, these huge arenas, and seeing these groups of thousands of people come to cheer on the Faker and these teams, and they're so dedicated. And I'm like, this is esports. This is what we're wanting to go somewhere. That is the football of our generation. Like this is awesome. So
Yeah.
and of course Vainglory is getting right there. You just saw with Samsung, and right before that the finals they just had.
Yeah,
It
the NA and
blows my
EU.
mind. It blows my mind having that many people in a stadium playing Vainglory. It's incredible.
Right, people put on a stage playing on their mobile devices. It's kind of a weird feeling, a weird thing to see.
I never would have seen a mobile game like that. I never. If you would have told me that 2 years, I would have just laughed, and be like, "No, there's no way." But then, Vainglory breaking the mold. That's for
Right,
sure.
setting the standard for a lot of games
Yeah,
on those devices. So it's very cool.
we've already seen a couple of the games kind of fall short because Vainglory hit it so hard right away, and that's what League did too. Is hitting it perfect the first time around, and that's what makes Vainglory so incredibly strong
True,
for a
yeah,
mobile game.
true. So on your stream, first off, how often are you streaming? And then like,
Oh,
what do you usually do on it? Are you usually playing like mini games? Are you just ranking?
Oh, this is kind of funny to say actually. Most people, you see streamers, everybody comes in, they let me play with you, please let me play with you.
Yeah.
And through I think most people who have ever watched my stream understand the solo queue salt that flows through my veins.
Okay.
So most of the time I like solo queue because I can just get in there, I can scream, I can yell, and hope to God that they're not in my channel right then and there.
Right. Okay.
But at the same time, once in a while, I kind of make it. It's not an everyday thing that I'm viewer games. BRs are great now. That makes it so much easier because I'm one of those people that get so antsy. I don't like waiting to get somebody from chat who has a 30-second delay to get another person and then 6 people. I'm waiting like 5 minutes to do one game of, and then one person AFK. It's ugh. So half the time I'm just antsy. I'm like, I'm solo queuing. I'm solo queuing. You took too long.
Right. Yeah, I feel you there. Like when I was streaming and when I do that, like I always have someone that goes AFK and then it ruins the experience for me. It's like, no, the last guy AFK'd. I'm not having you guys in here. Sorry.
Oh. Oh,
That's
I want to make a quick PSA to all those AFKers out there. I love you. I love you so much. I hate you. Just please don't take a dump mid game of ranked. Like just hold it. Just keep your device, please. I think AFK is probably the only thing that puts me just on tilt immediately.
okay. Yeah, fair enough. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's just like
Yeah,
struggle. I don't know.
there's absolutely nothing, and you're sitting there wondering, why am I playing this game? And I'm stubborn enough to never surrender. I'm like, no, you will push that Kraken in. You will kill my vein. I will make you do this.
I have to suffer. You have to suffer through.
Yep, that's how I do it.
Oh wow! I was streaming this morning and mentioned that you were going to be on the podcast, and someone mentioned to have you wear a hat of some kind, or did you wear like a funny hat? Maybe I haven't seen these hats or this hat.
You haven't seen the hat.
No.
So, well, I'm glad this is just a podcast of no video, unless I'm wrong and this is a video.
There is a
podcast.
video version.
Then, well, then I have to put on my hat. I thought this was only audio. Hold on a second. Here we go.
All right. Yeah, for anyone, there is the YouTube version. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and let me put on my other earbuds then. I told you I just hopped right out of the shower and I was like, oh no, I'm good. It's just audio.
Oh man, what's the story behind the hat? You probably can't hear me now.
There we go.
So what's the story behind the hat?
The hat was back in the day when I didn't grow a beard. This is called a beard head hat. It's a knit like helmet.
Okay.
And it actually comes with a beard edition. It's for snowboarders. So I took it off and I was like, I love this hat. I'm just going to buy it for Christmas. And I bought it and then I grew an actual beard. So there's no point to wear the beard portion,
Right, yeah.
whatever. So then I was like, man, I should just wear this one day. Well, I got really drunk and I was playing Vainglory on like a Friday night. And I was like, I'm putting this on. And then it just became like a persona. When I put the helmet on, it's lit. I just get crazy in the chat and we just have a lot of fun. And it's just, I don't know. It's just been the kind of thing when the hats come on. I'm actually ordering hats. How weird is that?
Okay.
I'm ordering because it's just kind of people see the weird. I'm dancing. We're crazy. I try to be entertaining enough to make it visually entertaining because I don't like just sitting there and just tapping.
Sure, yeah,
I like
understandable.
to have something that flings around when I'm doing my dances and just getting crazy and just having a good time.
Yeah,
So
you gotta put on a show. You're part entertainer when you're streaming.
yeah, yeah. I don't sit there a lot of times, and there's always arm movements, and you wouldn't be surprised how hard it is to dance without your hips until you actually started dancing on stream.
Okay.
You're like, I can only move this portion right
There's a
here.
lot of like drum solo things. That's
Yeah, it's a lot of like weird movements and a lot of dabbing, and it's just crazy.
So, how what days do you end up streaming? For anyone who wants to
Uh,
check it out.
it's kind of one of those things where because I work such a crazy job,
Okay.
sometimes I'm working 12 hours, sometimes it's only 9. I have everybody kind of follow me on Twitter because I always post up, but I try to do 4 to 5 days a week now.
Okay.
Normally, if I can't get it a lot through the week, I hit it hard on the weekend. I have, I've only missed in the year that I have fully streamed, I've only missed 3 actual weeks where I have not put in 35 hours of streaming.
Wow,
It is my
35 hours. That's a lot.
every week. Streaming is one of those things that I realized early on is not, if you get lucky, it's great. If you have something that puts you out of so different than anybody, wonderful. But it's directly linked to how much time you put in versus how much you're going to get out of it. The regularity that you're there, the more time you put in. It's not like you're just going to wake up one day and hit 25,000,
Yeah.
know? So I said, you know what? I'm just going to, this is my social life. And I feel like the stream understands. So
No, I feel you. It's a grind. Like I kind of stopped maybe like a month ago and like trying to just maybe get back into it, but it's like I don't know. I kind of like playing on the couch sometimes too, and not having to stream and like be on camera and talk through all the games.
I tell you what, I find myself quite a bit on Vainglory only on stream. A
Yeah.
lot of people are saying, hey, after your stream, can we play? And I'm like, I'm going to bed so I can wake up in the morning and go to my IT job.
Right.
It's like when I come home, I get the stream ready, and my first game is with you guys on stream. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic where people that can stream full time and not have to work that daily job, they can play more hours outside and play other games outside of stream. And I don't find that. I literally sit down and like, what game do I want to play tonight?
Yeah. Sure. Any highlights from like? Do you have like one moment that stands out from the whole year of streaming so far?
Oh, oh, you would ask me that. Two things. One specifically, there was a huge donation for, not to me, to a charity. We were doing St. Jude.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of donations going around. At the end, there was a huge donation, and it blew me up. It just floored me, and it was absolutely amazing because I love doing charity work because it's way gamers like us can give back to people that really need it.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
if I can help raise awareness while playing a video game, which those two are so different,
They seem
then
weird,
that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that seems weird, but that when that huge donation came through, I was just like, wow, it completely floored me. So that, I mean, and that's in like the streaming career, like top 3 of all time. Like that was awesome. But
Okay.
as far as Vainglory goes, hitting POA was nice. Hitting that POA silver the first time. That's the highest I've ever gone on any of my
Nice.
accounts. So that was
This season.
yeah, that was
Okay.
this season. So I mean, it's if you how long have you been playing Vainglory
Um,
for?
been
Since like
since the beginning, so like October of 2014.
okay, so I started playing in March, which was right on 1.11 or 12. I can't remember which one that was, but with ranking then versus now, how to get from one from level 1 to 10, it's been changed every time, and we've seen that compression, we've seen everything, and I was just happy to finally get it. I mean, it's
Yeah, I ended up with POA silver this season as well. That's been
nice.
my highest also, so it's been kind of nice. And then fallen since then, but doesn't matter. I got that. I got the trophy, so who cares?
So salty, so salty. Solo queue POA, I hate you.
Yeah,
Uh,
I solo queue most of the time because I'm usually recording videos for YouTube or other things. And
sure.
so yeah, the solo queue life, it's funny sometimes.
Salty Q, man.
Yeah.
Salty Q.
Well, that's awesome. And then this week has been amazing for Vainglory. Like the amount of news and just content that's been coming out. There's an insane amount to talk about. Should we dive in?
Yeah, let's get right to it.
So I think the first thing to kick it off is the summer preview.
Woo!
So these aren't patch notes. We'll probably have patch notes here in like the next day or so because these don't have any of the balance changes to any of the heroes.
Sure.
Yet.
It's just like that little slap, like get ready.
Yeah. It's like you saw the leaks, so we're gonna officially put this out.
We're just gonna confirm your everything's now been changed. Every meta you've ever believed has been destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know the amount of time it's gonna take to figure this back out. Is gonna.
I've been telling people this is going to be one of the most important patches we've ever seen.
Sure.
Anytime you deal with like gold changes and innate gold that you're receiving, XP and ranges, holy moly, that changes mechanics, it changes early game, that changes mid game. This is going to be incredible. Yeah. So I like it. I like these changes because I like the what the hell do we do now?
Sure. Yeah, so what you're mentioning is the ambient gold. So first off, Iron Guard contract is gone, which is kind of, it's good and kind of bad. Like everyone was finally like, all right, we know how to use this. Or most people were. I'd say most people were. We all finally got it, right? And now it's gone.
Hold on, let me face palm.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever I haven't seen problems with contract in at least 3 patches. But if you're still seeing that, I would be so oh no, I take that back. I have seen that. No, there's a little blood rage on that one. Yes.
All right, so this is gone now. And so we're gonna have more ambient gold coming through to kind of make up for this this gold deficit that was going to kind of happen.
Sure.
So what's going to happen is now whenever anyone kills a minion or monster, a nearby ally within 14 meters, which is the same range that Iron Guard contract used to work, you'll earn 70% of the bounty of the bonus gold. So as a support, you still can't last hit them, right?
No, they should never be last hitting. I hate you, Rome's. Never last hit.
So you still don't get the last hit, but it really doesn't matter now who starts them either.
Sure.
So that's kind of nice because the whole idea of like tanking the minions is kind of gone, and it'll kind of work out pretty well for those kind of first 3 minions in the back that would happen, where maybe the carry would do the single and the roamer would start the other 2. So now the roamer's going to benefit from all that now. So
true. But
nice.
with the new versions of contract, I think the tanking still is very prevalent.
Okay.
You got that. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the protector contract is. I think that's still even though you don't want to last hit. I think that's pretty much going to be the obvious choice for pure roams, unless they're going a damage roam like a Lance, where they're very aggressive, or maybe an Arden. Maybe an Arden wants to go Swift Shooter instead. We're going to see some interesting, hey, roams, you don't have to get this one item anymore and screw your first 6 levels. Like, good job.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, like not having to start Iron Guard contract. And that's going to take, I think, a while for most roamers and supports to figure out, like, what do I want to start here? All right, maybe Catherine starts with a battery. Weapon Catherine.
So, it's so stupid.
So figuring out like what you need to start with is going to take a little bit of time, and also determine probably your comps as well. If you're like a early aggression, or if you need to like tank up for a bit and then go in. So to see that,
I think all roamers have that innate ability that gives them the tankiness. Arden's second ability, the quibbles, at least negates some damage. Catherine the bubble. So it's really, with those abilities, you don't need a tank item directly. So I think roamers out there are going to go straight damage, because when they meet at that level 2, the mid bush, they're just going to be going.
Right, yeah.
It's just going to be a crazy damage early. We're going to see a lot of, I guarantee we are going to see a lot of super hyper aggression comps in jungle. 3 people, no rotation, all the way through jungle. I'm expecting to have that 3v3 level 1 fight.
Oh, okay.
Because there's so much more damage, and the non-contracts are going to allow the actual tanks just be like, let's go. Let's kill them. which is going to be cool because the gold change and the experience change. That the early game, the way I read it, is going to make it much more early game. Oh, at least maybe not. I mean, I could definitely see people being a little bit scared at the beginning.
For sure.
I would be.
But yeah, with the experience range going from, I think it went from like 5.5 to 14.
Yeah.
There's like hyper leveling is basically gone. Like this is going to be much harder to do. If you want to hyper level, you need to solo farm the jungle now and have your support, your roam person go to lane, which I think you may start to see happen maybe in that first level or after one rotation.
Sure.
Then the roamer goes up to the lane and just kind of hangs out there and benefits from that gold.
I've seen a lot of that in PoE this season specifically. Just, hey, jungle, just be careful. Don't even take bottom. Just go through, get mid, and then rotate back, and they'll hyper level that way by themselves, and they're just, because when I'm laning a Scarf, there's always two people in lane. It's like, get out of here. What are you doing? I'm just a baby dragon.
So yeah, I think you'll see more of that, and maybe people are like practicing it or realizing that it does help to make sure your laners still stay safe, and it gets those last hits without having to be poked down and stuff. So
I agree.
And then we'll have more gold trickle. It's going from 4 to 5, which you won't notice until kind of late game. I think I saw like by 15 minutes you might have an extra tier 3 item or something like that.
I think we're going to see a difference regardless. I mean, it doesn't seem on page, it doesn't seem like that much, but I know by 6 minutes, if I'm in lane and I have at least 40 to 50 CS, I can get my at least mid. If I'm working my BM, I can have my first 2 items, 6 minutes, if not the full BM at 6 minutes. That right there is going to alleviate, if I miss a few, then it's going to keep that coverage. So I think laning will actually be a little easier because you're still going to get that gold. Hey, I'm not as good as everybody knows I suck at CS. I'm going to put that out there. I'm terrible. But, I mean, it's going to help with those 18 that I miss. It's going to subsequent maybe 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah. So, yeah, those are the main changes to the gold and experience. But then you're talking about these new contract items.
Yeah.
So we'll go through these real quick. So the new Iron Guard contract, it's specifically geared towards coming out of the jungle with a bit more battle readiness. I think this is a term Vainglory uses quite a bit, is like being battle ready, going into the fights, making sure know where your team is, where your abilities are at, where you have up, who's got their ultimates, things like that, like battle readiness. And it's meant to keep both members of your jungle duo topped off. So passively, when a nearby ally kills a jungle monster, you both heal for 75 health. And that's great. I think that is fantastic. That's a lot of healing, because now, like we said, the tanking the camps, you're both going to heal up. Like, just because one person ended up tanking a little more that time, doesn't matter. So I think this is still going to be a pretty good pick.
I think I actually feel that the Iron Guard contracts will. Hold on, I think I just got in front of myself. Do we know if those actually build into a new item, like the Storm Crown?
I think I'm not sure exactly what they all build into now. Let's see the pieces. You still need Stormguard banner. I think they're just their own item.
That's what I understood, but I was hoping that on the actual patch notes they would say these items build into something, because if they actually built into something, then I would see as a jungler to go the Iron Guard contract to get the heal for both of us if that built into a damage item. But like the Dragon Blood, that actually slows. So I don't see a purpose for the jungler to waste their 300 gold early game unless they were if there was a cooldown. So if like the tank and the jungler both went the Iron Guard contract, does that stack 75 health?
I don't know.
150 per, like, that would be crazy.
That would be a lot of health, yeah.
That would be a lot of health. And so you're down in the bush and you pull the bottoms over and then you attack and then you, I kill one, 150 health for both of you mid-fight. Like, that would be huge.
That's true, yeah. I'm sure this has been worked out for stack.
Sure. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I don't know if they build anything yet. There's a weird, like, all these new items have, like, it's energy battery plus recipe equals.
I saw that. I was like, I don't know what recipe is. Is
Yeah.
that the old build or is it a new build? Am I cooking something? What's
Yeah.
going on?
So one of the other contracts is called Protector Contract. This is a much more defensive start. The Protector Contract allows you to protect your teammates as long as you're close enough to do so. This is a fantastic purchase if you expect heavy aggression coming out from your opposing team or if you plan on team fighting early. So what happens is it's an activatable, which grants 120 health barrier to the nearest ally for 2 seconds. It has a cooldown, and you get charges of it. So you get 2 charges of it every 20 seconds. So that's not bad. Nearest allies, 150 or 120 barrier. Yeah.
I'm just going to throw this out there. By the time you get down to the bottom jungle, first initiation, if you're aggressive, you have 120 health, 2 charges, 2 barriers. You're going to have 2 charges.
Yeah.
Even if the highest early game that I can possibly put out is a quibble with a shatter, or the first crystal item on a fin, it hits for roughly 190. And that at level 1 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you can negate that or any kind of burst 2 times in a 5-second fight, which normal level 1 fights take a while. I mean,
They do, yeah.
unless it's just a burst out of hell. So that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, can 2 people? Is there a global cooldown? Can 2 people have that PC? I'm just going to put that out there now. Most people are going to do that. PC, DC, IC.
Okay.
There are people going to be talking about those items.
Yeah,
and then,
get that PC.
How they get the PC, bro, PC. Can 2 people do it? Are we going to see that super aggressive barrier? Negate like 240 health.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah, and if you have someone like Rhyme, stacking his barriers, like just a Rhyme Finn with a Protector Contract, like the barriers are insane.
that health regen, you just see a bar just pass his maximum health. He's like, you got to fight me all the way down again.
Yeah.
Nope, don't back up.
I hate it. So then the DC, the Dragon Blood Contract. So the Dragon Blood Contract supports early aggression, and it may allow you to dominate early on in the match. However, the initial advantage falls off very quickly, having a fairly long recharge time and a fixed amount of damage. So what it is, it's activatable again. After a brief delay, nearby enemy heroes are marked for 3 seconds. The next basic attacks from an ally consume the mark, slowing them by 30% and dealing 75 bonus crystal damage. Yikes. Okay. So why wouldn't just 2 people, why wouldn't the jungle duo get both contracts? Like somebody gets one of each.
Yep. So here's the situation. You're down there level 1, right? And you've got a scarf jungle. We haven't seen that very much, but it does happen. You have him, get this, you throw it, you mark both of them, you hit it, and you get the refreshes. On the fireball hit, the 75 bonus damage, and then the auto refresh immediately. There you go on probably close to 300 damage, instant burst. Yeah. That is disgusting. Like, there's going to be crystal junglers are going to have a heyday with this. Why didn't they put one that made
a weapon?
Where's the AD on this? Where's the weapon?
Yeah.
Like, why this item alone makes crystal junglers go, oh hells yeah. Mm-hmm. Twirly death from Kashka. Oh, I marked 2. They're both there. Twirl, 75 damage to both, and twirl damage, and a slow. What? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Crystal Tapas,
they better have that.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so I think if you're the Roam and you're going against Crystal or with a Crystal duo, or you may want to pick this one up. I think that would be the best bet. I think it's gonna take some time to figure out what works here.
I think even if you were weapon and you had your what's the name of the actual starter weapon item? I can't ever remember.
Blazing Self is the Swift Shooter.
Swift Shooter. No, the weapon, the sword. The 300. I never remember the name of that. Anyways, if you went that and you're a weapon, and then on top of getting a DC at the first buy, popped it and went in, not only do you have the weapon damage, but you have the burst on crystal. It doesn't even matter if they bought any kind of defense, you're going to bust right through that.
That's true. Yeah.
There's no point to buy defense in the early. It's going to be a rush game, I think. It's just going to be a massive clash in the beginning.
I think, yeah, it's kind of scary if you're not willing to fight. But Vainglory is all about fighting, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's not about being in lane,
uh,
being non-aggressive.
so then some of the other new items and new item reworks. The Stormguard banner has been reworked a bit. So the passive on this, your next three basic attacks in the next 6 seconds deal 75 true damage to non-heroes or 20 to heroes. That's weird.
Yeah.
And they got rid. So this still has energy. This still has energy recharge, and it builds out of a battery plus whatever the recipe is.
The recipe. Yeah, I think this is a good change because of what they're doing with the boots. This is a let's not only give utility to the junglers and then weapons only care about stutter stepping. No, you really have to. Okay, I really need to have this character as a Scarf player, who's one of the slowest characters in the game. Yes, I like this change because now I can be like, yeah,
Right.
I'm flying away. Yeah, this is great, but I just don't see the purpose of the new SB. I don't see it. I think it's cool of the new have strong wave clears, but I don't really know anybody by mid game who has a really rough time clearing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so this new Stormguard banner then builds into the new Storm Crown.
true.
So this an upgraded version of the Stormguard banner. It deals significant but not overwhelming damage to heroes. I like how they say that. So it doesn't do Ardent Stormguard banner damage, but it does enough. So passively, after using ability, your next four basic attacks, right?
Yep.
In the next 6 seconds, deal 140 basic true damage to non-heroes, or 35 to heroes. So you can clear the jungle super fast. Gold miner, minion miner, things like that, and it can be refreshed every 6 seconds. You get a lot of cooldown. You get the energy regain, health. So this is like the Catherine item. Like she needs some of that. Yeah. She wants cooldown speed, a little bit of energy. Like this is perfect for her.
I don't really know which roam would want this, except for Lance, because straight cooldown, energy recharge, health. And just plain energy.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it might actually become the new bread and butter of all roams. Just for that flat, now I am tankier than everybody. My cooldowns are higher, allowing me to be more utility based. I think that could really be really strong. Now, if you look at Stormguard Banner, the new one, it's only $1,100. That's really cheap. Even for a roamer who's getting this shared gold, you could probably have that by minute 4 or 5.
Right, but you might be sacrificing maybe that fountain or something else. So,
and we don't know what's going to really happen to fountain.
Yeah.
I don't see any changes, but we haven't got those patch notes yet. Mm-hmm. If they change fountain again, then I don't know what to do with my life. I'm just gonna hide in the corner.
But Storm Crown costs $2,200, so that's a little more pricey. So quite a big item. So then all the boots got changed. We got some new boots. This is pretty nice. So Journey boots, the tier 3 boots that we've all, the fancy boots. I think Lady Wabish said at one point. What was she like? I think she was like the Walmart boots. Then there's TJ Maxx boots, and I forget how she broke down the boots once. But these are the best boots you can buy.
I like it.
So the passive movement speed has been up from 0.5 to 0.6. The cooldown's been increased a lot, from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. That's bad.
I don't know why I would buy this now, to be honest. The only reason I ever went tier 3 is so I could boot, team fight, get out of their base, and I'll have my boots again for another engage. Now, 60 seconds? Not when there's bear claws and hooker boots to buy. Like, who doesn't want war treads? Right. Come on.
But the passively damaging heroes instantly sets the cooldown to 12.
True.
So if you're at 60, you could just go, punch somebody, and then you're at 12 seconds for your boots. Like, you're going to be able to run away or chase them.
That's actually, I forgot about that very important passive, because if you're fighting, you've already used your boots, and while you're still fighting, you hit them, it's already down to 12. Like, it doesn't say anything about have to be out of combat first. So if you use your boots and you're still in a fight, then by the time you're done with this fight, you're probably gonna have your boots up again.
Right.
So
Sound like a crystal taco. You use your boots, heal, run away.
here, I'm gonna vomit real quick.
And then you come back in and you get in there 12-second boots again. It becomes this weird chase game that don't chase people. But one of the new boots, these are the War Treads. So Warhorn is now a type of boots. So you don't see Warhorn anymore, but if you do pick up these boots, you have some of the same abilities from Warhorn. So actively, nearby allies sprint for 2 seconds, and that cooldowns for 60 seconds. You get a passive movement speed of +4. They are like heavy boots, so they're not as fast as your journey boots.
Sure.
And then passively, they're equal to travel boots, which were, your regular boots, right? Or your second tier boots. But they are super tanky. You get 500 health. So that's pretty awesome. You do lose the Storm Guard passive when you get them. So that damage you get out of them, but you get a lot of health.
I think it's really important to note that 500 health on boots will change mid-game incredibly.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of tanks grabbing that Dragon Heart early to mid. No, rush your boots. Give your whole team that closer without having to do anything else. But then again, it is 2,500 to finish these boots.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. When as a roam do you have $2,500 just sitting around? You got travel boots.
Yeah.
It's a 1K boot for your travel boots, right? And then it's the Dragon Heart, and then the recipe. Like, it might just be a late game item, to be honest. I don't know as a roam. You'd have to be stomping them to be like, I think I can get War Treads now.
Right, yeah. Be interesting. Other third pair of boots we're going to see now are the Halcyon Chargers. I'm sure these probably look great on Catherine. I think this is already made for her.
Wow. Fanboys out there are loving that.
So actively, you sprint for 3 seconds. So this does not give your allies. This is just for you. The cooldown's at 50. You get plus 0.5 movement speed. You get the same passive as your travel boots, but you get 200 health. You get cooldown. You get energy regen. You get plus 250 energy. So that's pretty nice. They build out of travel boots and void battery, which are items you may need on a few people out there. Crystal Ringos, things like that.
Yeah, I think this is really cool for characters. I'm just going to use Scarf. Crystal Ringo is great too, because on Ringo, I hate building Recharge or Eve even.
Yeah.
I like going straight damage, AC, BM, get in their face, explode, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh, I got to buy a battery because I'm No, I can just throw that on my boots and just call it a day. Like 250 energy and a plus 4 energy charge is way enough for anyone that has a cooldown that's larger than 4 or 5 seconds.
Right.
You're not going to be spamming. Scarf. This could allow me to not go Eve.
Wow. Okay.
It could possibly allow me to just go. 100% pure damage. 5 Shatter Glass. Let's go.
And Halcyon Chargers. Yeah.
I got my hooker boots. Now I want these boots to be reflected on the character in game.
Yeah.
I want Scarf to be in high heels while he's tiptoeing through the bush.
Yeah, he flashes legs a little bit.
Hikes up a skirt, just dips through. That would be awesome.
So those are the new boots. Gonna be interesting to see where we end up, and if boots seem to be always the last thing people thought about. Like once you get your boots 1 or 2, going journey boots, or even a third boot was just like, wow, maybe when I have enough money. I don't know.
With those last, I mean, they should be considered a legitimate item, absolutely. Especially for the hooker boots, just because I mean the 15% cooldown is huge.
Yeah, sure.
On any character, and a 200 health is great. Like who doesn't need a little bit? But let's just point out real quick the passive speed on these 3 boots. The Halcyon Chargers is 0.5, the War Treads is 0.4, and the Journey boots is 0.6.
That's fast, yeah.
0.6. You're almost on as a passive, almost barely going a little less than double the speed of somebody with War Treads. Anybody is going to be outrunning with those, going to be outrunning a tank, unless they have some kind of closer. With 12 seconds, attack, run, attack,
That's
run.
true, yeah.
I mean, for Celeste and Taka, like you said, and all these really pokey but really what's the word I'm looking for? Glass cannons. They are going to need, I think, the Journey Boots almost more than the Halcyon Chargers because they're going to want to be able to just dip. Yeah. Can you imagine chasing a Scarf that every like 12 seconds has a fireball and throws his boots again, comes back in, fireball, throws his boots again? How annoying would that be?
Yeah, you're going to be always staying out of range to be able to kite everybody.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, nice. And then we had a couple other items that are getting changed. The flare gun. I love this new icon. It looks great.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So the flare gun, it's going to activate just like the flare gun currently does, but you also get 250 health. So it builds out of an oak cart and then a recipe. So whatever that recipe is. I think the recipe is just something else. I don't know if
they haven't really decided. Maybe it's popcorn. I don't know. But like the fact that you can buy an item now and it has its own cooldown and I don't have to constantly shop when there's a Taka destroying me, that's great. I can just be like, bloop, 18 seconds later, bloop. That's wonderful. I like it. I think that's a great change.
Yeah, so this is almost like a mini contraption, the new flare.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Like for anybody that's having problems with I'm getting ganked. This is actually a really great laning item. I have to always buy a mine. I think this flare gun is going to give me an actual option to buying 1,000 mines. If I can constantly, because I can't mine the second bush that's on their side, but I buy flares, I buy mines, and I buy potions. If I save up enough money, buy a flare gun, maybe a mine on my side because mines are ridiculous and comboing. And then a flare gun, I can at least check their bush once in a while. Be like, are they going to gank me? That probably is going to save me a few times.
And you can always sell it later. 600 gold isn't that much gold.
No, that's only like 82 waves for me. It's no big deal.
It's a mid game, then you get rid of it. Stay safe early.
I mean,
and then contraption, which I don't really love these changes on contraption here, but the cooldown is up from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. It already seems pretty long. You're still going to get 350 health. You're still going to get the same cooldown speed, 35%. Still energy regen, but you get no health regen, and then Stormguard passive is now removed from it as well.
Yeah.
Costs 2,100, and you don't get as much from it besides some mines and a little bit of cooldown speed. I don't.
It's gonna be hard for me. It would have to be like a Taka that's destroying my team to be like, I need this item. Or because as you can see, it builds from flare gun.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, right? If I am utilizing as a tank flare gun and I'm not buying, because that's kind of like the trade-off. Do I put mines everywhere? Am I mine gaming? Am I just flaring, it seems like, all the time? Maybe a flare gun early game. Maybe mid game when you have enough money, you're like, you know what? I need to get these mines. We need true vision. Let's go ahead and get a contraption. Stop spending this money. I mean, the fact that you're still getting 350 health is pretty nice. The higher cooldown kind of sucks, but 35% cooldowns on anybody is going to be huge. I mean, I loved contraption on Catherine.
Right.
Everybody hated that, but I loved it. 35% cooldown on Catherine would be beautiful. Any character. So I'm pooping out mines. I'm popping flares. I still think it could be good. It really depends. I never see anybody buy it anymore.
Usually I get on Catherine, sometimes Finn if I'm feeling like I want my hookup all the time.
I just go BM. Yeah. Screw it.
But yeah, I think contraption we may see some changes to contraption. This may, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, how people are using it and picking it up.
I really am sad about the Stormguard passive removed. Yeah. If they didn't remove that, I could totally utilize the 2,100 to buy it. But with that Stormguard passive removed, that hurts. I mean, I needed that AoE damage.
Right.
I mean, that was huge. Smack, everybody gets hit. That was great, but whatever. I'm not a developer. What do I
know? So those are those are the new items coming and the changes. There's probably still some tweaks to a few items that'll be coming in the patch notes. Sure. But also in the summer preview, we got some info on Lyra, or a lot of info on Lyra.
Yeah.
So the newest protector coming to the fold. We can run through her abilities, and then we'll talk about her a little bit and what we think she may do. Go ahead.
I want to say two things in the breakdown. Kraken is no longer affected by any positive buffs. I think that's huge because I was sick and tired of seeing a Warhorn being used on the Kraken, which shouldn't be used, and it was dodging those explosions from the turrets,
Right.
which are pivotal, or boosting out of that. I mean, that's huge. And Adagio's Gift of Fire. God bless America. I hated that.
Yeah.
You put it on him, it burns everything around him. And I was like, why? Why are we buffing? Why are we allowed to even touch the Kraken? It should be a completely different entity. The gods have listened. It's done. Thank you.
Oh,
and that's my piece.
All right. So
Let's talk about
Lyra.
Yeah.
So her heroic perk. So when Lyra attacks, her attacks are arcane missiles, dealing crystal damage. If she holds her ground after releasing an attack, she automatically channels and releases a much stronger arcane missile that deals additional crystal damage and briefly slows the target. So you can almost think of Lyra a little bit like Saw, like stand there and attack. Because you attack once, and then your second attack, moments later, if you didn't move, does extra damage and slows the enemy. Free slow. That's pretty sweet. So that's her heroic perk. Her A is Imperial Signal. Yeah.
Sigil.
Lyra forms a sigil.
That signal, though, the Imperial signal.
At a target location, revealing surrounding enemies, so you get vision for these. While they remain active, and they heal nearby allies and damage nearby enemies when activated. So she can burst them, so they can sit there for a little while. If she does nothing, they will explode. But as soon as she hits her A again, they deal damage and heal allies as well. You do get a moderate move speed when it bursts for allies too. So that's kind of nice for chasing people. And
a little bit of utility, which is great. I immediately when I read this, I was like, oh, dear God, I hate everything in my life because what I'm going to see is a Catherine Koshka Lyra. And it's going to be stun, alt, burst stun. And it's going to be hell because not only does it matter what you do, anybody that has a lockdown, any kind of instant stun that's either ranged or not, you're going to get this stun heal. And that's game breaking for me. That for so many engagements, not only am I going to stun them, but I'm going to heal and not stun. Sorry, I'm going to damage and then heal. Holy crap. All melee champs are like, yes, please let me be her, because I think it's going to be absolutely dominating in lane, and then, if you even come up there.
And then Lyra probably stood there and slowed the enemy as well with her attacks, and so then no one's getting
what
away.
I understand with her heroic perk though is that it continues to auto, and they continue the attack speed change. It affects her heroic perk.
Yeah.
So the more attack speed you get, AC, then you would sit there and just be like, plow, 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 plow. And I think that like a turret like that, that could be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Then her B is called Bright Bulwark. Yeah, it's basically like this book and her icon of that. I like these icons. They're fun. They look way cool. Different than our other icons. So after a brief delay, Lyra releases a pulse of magical energy, damaging and applying a decaying slow to surrounding enemies. The affected area then becomes a walled zone of protection that deals the same damage and slows enemies attempting to cross its borders. Enemies inside the zone are snared, allowing them to move normally but preventing them from using movement abilities like your boots, things like that. So this is kind of like a different Arden gauntlet. It kind of forms around her. It's not I've seen it on people's streaming the PvE. It's not as big as Arden's Gauntlet, but it's a good size.
It's a decent size.
Yeah. So this is interesting. This one's going to be fun to see what happens here. The snare should be really interesting. I don't know about this. Like you're just not going to want to fight her inside this. It's kind of like Arden's Gauntlet. Like, all right, let's get out of this. Wait till it's done, and then we'll fight them.
This is when I read the B, I was like, wow, this could literally lay waste to the combo of Arden going back to a jungler.
Yeah.
Because if you had the wall, her B, and then the massive amount of damage from whatever laner you throw in there, any kind of AoE and like a Vox or a Scarf, holy ball sacks,
So
that's going to be
you
ridiculous.
double wall somebody.
What are you going to do? You can't get out there, you're stunned. You're inside, you're snared. Then you're getting damaged the entire time. It's just going to be crazy.
And then her ultimate is called Arcane Passage. Lyra blinks to a target location. So it's like a jump, almost like a flash, but it leaves a portal at the beginning and the end of the blink. So if anyone out there has played League of Legends, this is kind of like Bard's magical portal thing that he can put on terrain and kind of go anywhere. So allies, enemies, anyone, when they step on it, they are transported this short distance. It's about like it's about the width of the lane almost, if you like looked at it that way, from the top bush down to like the Kraken top wall kind of thing. It's about that length.
Okay. I was wondering how large it was because I couldn't remember I watched them do it, but I was like, what is that distance? Like, how do you figure this out? I immediately thought of Kraken to bush though. From in the Krakens, I was like, what if you're at the Kraken, you're just like, let's go to lane, and you're just there. Like, there's gonna be so much. Here we are.
Yeah. It's fast. As soon as she puts it down, she transports there. I see this being used a little bit to, like, not to troll your players, but if you put it down in a fight and you put it down in the right position where maybe a Saw or a Kashka walks over it and all of a sudden they're on the other side of the wall and now they have to like work their way back.
But don't you go through it immediately?
Yeah.
Like, don't you pop it? So then you would be like, I'm taking you with me, bloop, and you're just gone.
Yeah, so you're over there, but then you could step on it again and come back through. It's going to create these really weird fights again. Like, lots of movement is about to happen with this patch and these abilities. And yeah, it's going to be hard to keep track of everyone if you don't have quick reflexes and your iPad is delaying at all. You're going to be like, where is this? Where'd they go? Lag. I don't know.
Portals. I think it's going to be really important to know what kind of cooldown this is. I'm curious to see what kind of cooldowns they decide on for this ability. If it's anything less than like 60 seconds, if this is like a 30-second portal all the time, I'm just gonna go full cooldowns. We're going around the map. Woohoo!
Yeah. This is an interesting ability because allies and enemies can go through it. So chasing, like, it doesn't help you for running away because they can just use it. If we look at someone like Bard, he can stun people coming out of his portal. So I guess you'd have to use a portal and then use your A to kind of slow them and hurt them as they come through it, like trick them into going through it, or fit.
You know what? Sorry.
I'm just trying to think of the combos with this arcane passage that really benefit at all. I
think a lot of people that are going to be chasing are going to get trolled for the fact of, if you're behind somebody and if I time it and I know your speed, you're going to go through it. I'm going to immediately go over here and then wait like a second or two and then go right back through it to time it when you come through there, to just be like, whoop, I'm back on the other side, and then go the other. By the time they realize you went back through the portal, they're going to be like, what's going on?
Okay.
It's that inside and out of bush, that troll, like, I'm out of the bush, I'm in the bush. I think people are going to do that with their portals. They're going to be like, boop, 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 until... If you can still use your abilities, can you imagine a Glaive using his A through the portal, pumping somebody back through the portal again?
True, yeah.
And then now they're back through the portal, back in the team fight? Like, where are you going? Like, we're going to see some crazy things happen. Or a pull. Does his hook go through the portal? Like, the fin pull through the portal, and then it pops out the other side and then comes back in? How badass would that be?
That'd be great. I don't think it does that.
There we go. And then just pulls through the portal and pulls the team halfway across the map. That would be amazing.
Wow. Interesting.
Hey, game developers, let's go. Let's make this happen.
So have you seen anyone playing Lyra on the PBE? There's people streaming it this week.
I saw like one game and it was really short, so I didn't get to see like, oh, that seems kind of cool. I didn't read the ability, so I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Okay. I've seen a few people talking that all of our supports are very tanky supports. Besides maybe Fortress, but he's like high damage, like he's the initiator kind of support.
Sure.
But Finn and Arden and Catherine and even Adagio, like they're tanky and they can heal.
Yeah.
And Lyra doesn't offer any of that tankiness. She's really about a lot of damage and like help, like I guess boosting up your allies. So she can get bursted down super fast. Like she's just a Taka or someone can jump on her and she's gone. Your support is melted.
Sure.
So that's the only, I guess, interesting thing for her being a protector.
I think it's going to be interesting when I read her notes. I was like, oh, the fact that it's going to be Crystal, the fact that she's going to be kind of a mage. I'm going to build her and I'm going to take her lane and I'm going to build her like my Scarf. And I'm going to see how much of a mage she is versus an actual tank, a protector role. Mm-hmm. Because you see Lances in lane and destroy people because it's really good, but at the same time it falls off, so that's Lance. But with her, if she continuously is if she could be built into a carry,
right,
that I think that would be great, because as a carry, giving your team the ability to just go in, heal, damage, heal, slow decay, and then you pop back out. I mean, that would be really hard to catch her. It could be really interesting. I think until I put my hands on her, that this is going to be an interesting character. I'm really excited. Everything about her seems so much fun.
Yeah. And making sure you put your A down in the right location to like heal. Yep. Maybe like you put it behind the turret if you're about to fight, if they're going to dive you, and you could get a heal and a slowdown on them. That'd be, baiting people into weird situations, I think is kind of going to be her trick.
I think it's going to be really cool.
So those are like the preview of the patches or the preview notes that are coming. This patch, I think I've heard Wednesday this week is coming. Wednesday or Thursday usually is.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to play this game this week. I got to make sure I clear my schedule.
Same here. I'm not streaming anything else. It's going to be VG all week. We're going to just hit it hard. All these events, the summer fun stuff, like this is finally, they're doing what I was hoping a long time ago. I'm really excited.
Yeah, the summer party preview. I think there are rewards and benefits happening every weekend of update 1.19. Like summer is here. Vainglory knows that their main audience are kids in school, and they are out and they're playing all summer. And so let's give them rewards, benefits for playing. There's this new sunlight thing to boost rewards. So we got ice, we got glory, we got essence, we got cards, we got sunlight, we got rank. We got a lot of stuff to keep track of now.
I think this is great. And I made this comment around 6 months ago, and I'm really glad it's coming to fruition right now. If you download any kind of mobile game, anything like an RPG or something, and you make your character and you go to your town and it's like this little character pops up and says, I'm going to show you all your stuff that you can do. And you get through your little tutorial and then you look at the main screen and it's nothing from corner to corner of items and go here and go tournaments and all this stuff. It's just blam! There's a million things you can do in the app. And I've been like, okay, listen, I don't want to play every day to win a game to get a skin. There needs to be things for me to do, rewards for me just playing the game. Boom, chests, huge. That was massive. Sunlight, these events, all this stuff to be like, hey, don't just play ranked. Don't just play a couple games and get mad. Right. Come in, play a million games, and get a shit ton of stuff for it. Thank you. I love it. It's great. It's moving in the right direction. I want more things to be like, oh, and I got this, and this, I just got this because I played a game. Oh, my daily quest. I think the questing is great.
Yeah, I love the quest.
It's just going to get bigger, and it's going to get more extensive, and there's going to be all these cool things like, hey, you completed a quest for 7 days in a row. You are awesome. Here's a secret chest. And you're like, oh, secret chest! Like, that kind of stuff is going to be happening. And I think it's great that they're finally like really taking hold of the system that it's already been in place that works so well, because mobile games are not 30-year-olds and above as
Right.
their main audience. This is a younger age. And that's what kids want. They have to have 1,000 things telling them, congratulations,
You did
you're
it, yeah.
awesome. Like,
Come back
yeah.
tomorrow and do it again.
And
You know.
I love it. I'm like, amazing. Like, yeah, this is great. Like, that's so cool. And the summer event, it looks awesome. Sundials and getting this stuff. And I'm just going to be a child all weekends long. And I'm just going to enjoy it.
And with the chests and all the cards and everything, like they're getting ice and glory from the cards, it makes new players get into the game quicker because MOBAs have an issue. Like if you start a new MOBA today, if you dived into one, it takes forever to get characters. It takes forever to level up. You feel like you're in this black hole of, I will never own everybody. I will never learn everyone. This sucks. And so, yeah, being able to get all this stuff is great.
And I think that's a huge marketing failure. They do that so then you put real money to buy characters. And we all know we hate that. And I'm glad Vainglory is doing a great job finally of being able to say, yo, we'll give you, by the time you hit level 20, you will have enough ice through chests to get yourself a character. And we'll give you enough glory to get yourself 2 characters. So right off the bat, we only have a pool of what, 14 characters? 15? Or are we up to 20?
We're up to
I don't even know.
20, 22? Yeah.
Yes, I'm way off. So, I mean, that's great. Like, 22 is not that many to pull from. You play League, there's like 150. Yeah. So this is great. This is what it's meant to be. You don't want to keep people from playing these characters. You remember how hard it was to buy characters. Like,
yeah, it takes a while.
It took a long time. Unless you're going to drop like $100 and buy the characters. It was like, I'll grind. Yeah, sure, that's cool.
Keep going, yeah. And then if you want skins now, that's a whole nother ball game of, got to keep playing and grinding or drop money and do it.
But that's good for them. That's a good company pull right there.
Yeah. And so we did get an announcement of some of the skins that are coming. I think the best one to talk about is we're kind of getting Bikini Cruel. We're getting these summer beach party skins. I think I said it on the last episode. I love funny skins. They're my favorite. Of all MOBA skins, I like the funny ones, the jokey ones. So.
Hobo pigeon scarf, like
hobo pigeon scarf, yeah.
Hobo pigeon scarf it's my favorite. It's a dirty hobo pigeon. Like, yes. Cruel. Can we talk about his feet real quick?
On the surfboard?
On the surfboard, that's a problem for me. Look how normal his feet are. Like, those are really prime conditioned feet. Every part of him is decaying or muscly, but those feet are normal. And that's weird.
He's got that heroic perk. He's got that speed. His feet are in good form.
But also that shark, is that the new Kraken? Is there going to be a water map where there's a shark instead of a Kraken that swims? Look how big that shark is.
That is a big shark.
Come on now.
That's a Kraken shark. Yeah.
that's Kraken's mother right there. Like, that is ridiculous.
So Cruel's going to have these card events as well over the summer. So I think you'll be able to earn him via cards if you don't want to drop money right away. So, very cool.
And I think they did a great job with the Rona versus the Taka was the first one of that, and that was really hard. The Rona, it was tough, but it's still able to do. And I think these events, as they tweak their system, will get better. Yeah. And I think this will be better too.
Right. I think was Rona 28 cards, and this one's now 24.
I think it was 24. Yeah. I think Rona's 24.
I think that's.
I can't. Don't quote me.
I think that's the good amount. It's like you don't have to play every day, but you can play most of it every day, and you should get the skin.
I'm okay with spending a few dollars at the end if I miss days. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But giving me the option and the leeway to be like, if you miss one day, you're screwed. Like, no. It's like, just give me the option to miss like 5-6 days and then still be able to buy at the end. I'm totally cool with that.
Any guesses on the other summer skins that are coming in the 1.21 and 1.20?
Picture. There was the picture. Where did I see the picture at? The outline. It had outline of the other characters.
Yeah,
where was it? Oh, there it is. Somebody with the parasol. I really wanted Lance to be that, but I don't think that is. But the 1.20. What do you think? A tiny shovel like that? Who's big like that?
I'm thinking it's Saw. I think we're seeing his like machine gun kind of off in the back and he shanks with his shovel.
I never would have thought of that. That's great. I mean, I don't even think of the other human characters that are. It looks like a man. It's definitely not Rona, like the middle, the 21. That's definitely not Rona. Could be a Catherine. She could have something, and she's got the parasol, maybe.
Maybe, okay.
That's so tough. Unless maybe that's a Lyra,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe instead of a book, she's got a parasol.
It,
That'd be really cool for them to bring out a skin for a character they just released. Like,
it
I'd
could
be
also
okay.
be a Sky or Jewel without their mech.
I don't want a Sky skin because we just got 3. A Jewel would be kind of cool, but I mean, she just got her 3rd tier. There's still characters that don't have their 3rd tier. How about that be Petal? Human form Petal.
Human petal.
Yeah. I think the Saw is a good. I think that's it. The little baby, little shank.
Yeah.
He's got to just spew sand when he shanks, though. Like,
I think so. Yeah, sand shakes off of him when he runs, and
that'd be awesome.
so that's some of the stuff coming in update 1.19 and to come. Like that's an insane amount of stuff that's happening this coming week. I can't.
Summer skins. We don't normally see that kind of output of skins this quickly. That's a lot of skins to come. We're gonna see that in the next 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there'll be 5 skins in this update. Right. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. That keeps people wanting to play and spend that money.
Sure. And then, so the last thing before we wrap up the news is the Samsung Galaxy Vainglory International. Did you watch this last weekend?
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched everything E3 except this.
Oh, wow.
I was so involved with E3 that I could not. I had to work, and it was during work, and I was like, so I don't even know who won. Don't yell at me. I don't know anything about it. I know it was a great success, but I don't know anything else about it.
So Invincible Armada ended up winning this tournament.
Woo!
But I think they ended up splitting the prize money between the top 3 teams. So
cool.
I think that was also because all the players were playing on Samsung devices and not everyone
was used to that.
Yeah, so the playing field may not have been level at this event.
What are they playing on 7s? Samsung, like the phone 7s, S7s, or was it like?
I don't know the devices. I think just the fact that you're playing on an Android tablet, if you're so used to iOS, like it's different. Like the button size,
yeah.
it's a change. It takes you some time to get used to it.
If some of these pro players only play on phones,
yeah,
as soon as you go to a tablet, everything changes. Everything changes. That was the biggest change for me. I played 7 months on an iPhone 6.
Oh, wow.
And then went to a tablet. It's taken me so long. And there's certain things I like about the phone better.
Oh, really?
It's just, yeah. So I can imagine, like, they're going into it like, oh, yeah. And they're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, and the delay, you, like, click your wrong ability or click your boots when you meant to click a scout. All that stuff kind of happens. So.
My finger doesn't have to move that far for activatables on a phone, but on my stinking tablet, it's like, let me go press this crucible.
It's way over there. But then also, Vainglory teamed up with Samsung, and I'm not officially, I don't totally understand this, but it's the new Vulkan graphics API. So this is similar to Metal. If you're an iOS user, this is basically Android's version of Metal. So the game's going to run faster and look better on Samsung devices with Vulkan in them. I believe,
which is cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing really that's Android that can compete with iPad 2's graphics.
Right.
I have a Shield, and it is the most powerful tablet. Next to there is another I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's like $400 ish, and it's supposed to be one of the best graphics on tablets, and it does not compete with the quality, the resolution as an iPad 2. So I'm really excited to see something like that because I like zooming in and looking at the models. Like it's totally cool, but when they're pixelated, it's
gross.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Gross.
So we'll probably see some better Android tablets, and people like iOS devices are expensive, so new people can get into the game.
Yeah, I know. I don't buy those. Ooh, I have a point for you.
Okay.
How would you like it if on your device, it won't work as well for phone users, How about the option on a tablet to customize where your activatable items go on your screen?
Yeah, I have seen this tossed
How
around a
cool is
few
that?
times. If you could figure out a way to like press and hold and move.
Like at a GUI screen, and you're like, I want these up here and I want the score here. If I can move things around, that would be really cool for streamers. But I hate not being able to be like, I want my activatables above me. I want to be tapping and then go boop. There it is. Boop. I hate going boop. I hate going down.
Okay.
That drives me nuts. So if I can move it and be like, here's my action bar up here. And like I said, it's not going to work for phones at all. But for a tablet user, that would be
Very
cool
nice,
as
yeah.
hell.
Yeah, I could.
Just throwing it up.
Yeah, I don't know the limitations of the UI. I'm not a yeah. So, but I like the idea. They should be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that does it for all the news, or most of the news that's happening. Before we get out of here, I got a little forum static topic for you. So on the forums, we're seeing all these changes to the Iron Guard contract and even Kraken, and we saw some stuff change to Minion Miner a few patches ago.
Yeah, it's like 2 ago. Yep.
And now it's basically a joke again, right? The Minion Miner. Like before, we would never take them. Now you just
take them all the time.
Just take them all the time. Like it's 150 gold every time I take them. All right, I'll just take this. Fine.
Yep.
So this forum post was talking about like we need some new counterplay to the Minion Miners. Like I think the idea of giving the other team gold and stuff was interesting because it kind of like, oh, are we ready to do that? Can we just push and win? Like, let's take it and do it. And now the Minion Miner isn't really doing anything except helping you fight sometimes in the jungle.
I haven't. I'm going to say this right now. I have not. I wanted you to talk about this. I have not looked at the forum post.
Okay.
I'm going to guess what you're about to say.
Oh, okay.
It's going to give what League of Legends already does in the Dragon.
Okay.
A general buff to the team when you take it.
That would be interesting. Yeah, there was no like definite pick or
That
decision made in the forums, but yeah.
How I would, if it changed at the minute marks, the difference of the, I mean, let's get it right. League of Legends has blown the world up with esports. They doing something correct. When you have a neutral camp, they've changed their Baron like 3 times now that I know of since the beginning of their game.
Right, yeah.
And now there's all these, and the Dragons do different. Like, come on, there are things like you don't want to rip off a game, but there is definite, this is why the pro players love this. Let's take our version, Vainglory, and change it, but not rip it off, but give it just the mechanic. Like, hey, you take the minion mine at 7-minute marks, it does this. At 15, it does this. At 20 minutes, if you do the minion miner, it does this.
Yeah.
Like, that gives counterplay. Like, yeah, team-based stuff. I don't care if the jungler gets 150 gold. Who cares? Let's give, and it was really cool that they're buffed, but let's all be honest. Minions OP. How many games have you lost to the multi-minions? Double minions have been taken, and those guys are just destroying your crystal like, we can't die.
I get pinged all the time when I go back to clear minions after the Kraken. I'm like, these
What
guys
are you doing?
These guys are gonna take our stuff before we do it. Like
It doesn't take long at all. No, sorry. Go on. I was just I'm gonna read it now. I was kind of curious. Let's see if
I think anyone
captured 100% heal when out of battle. I was kind of right.
Yeah.
There it is. Cool.
Yeah, I think Vainglory cannot figure out a good counterplay or way to work around these minion miners. Like they are an interesting objective that are just kind of a giant camp. Right now, it doesn't.
Yep.
Although it's buffing your minions to do damage, it's just kind of this big dude that helps you in the jungle a little bit. So hopefully, I know like as you start tweaking items, adding new heroes, and then you start messing with gameplay like this, it just there's a lot of things to check. But hopefully this is something they're looking into.
When I went out to the old SCMC headquarters, it was in last September, sitting down with a couple of the devs, and I was just throwing ideas at them. I'm like, and this is what I think, and this is what, and they're like, no. There's one thing that I brought up, and they were like, you know what? It's definitely not now, but that's something we should look at in a year from now when the game evolves. And my idea was, I'm going to share it and debut it right now.
All right.
Not like it matters, but right above the lane where the two bushes connect in lane top, well, the single bush up top.
Yeah.
Adding on the map a semicircle.
Yeah.
Passageway with a neutral that
Something
will actually do something for the lane. I was like, let the laners have a little bit more fun than just sitting in lane. Give them another passageway. Make the junglers want to not only come to lane, but to also go get the neutral camp that does something. That change the neutral camps, the two minion miners, to do something that directly influences the jungle. Make them come out. If you take it, they'll walk over and start hitting Kraken. Yeah. Then maybe that's the only way to start a Kraken. Maybe they do something. There's a whole new mechanic that you cause them to do, and then have them come up to lane. I was like, this would be totally game changing, and that's a big mechanical change. And he was like, but that's a really good idea because it could evolve the game if it gets stagnant in lane. And I think, as a laner, we've hit that part. At lane, all I care about is my bush and the below bush, and that's it. Like, woo! Yeah. It's not fun. Like, it's fun when I win lane, but like, I want that something extra that just changes the game, change the meta.
Yeah. Well, just makes the game different enough, because if you are streaming 35 hours a week, it gets repetitive, right? Like, it's a great game. It's super addicting, but sometimes you're like, I played Scarf 5 times tonight. All right.
That's why I started playing Pedal. I'll be real. And she destroys, by the way. Let that be known for everybody.
She does, yeah. Hop on the forums. Always fun stuff people are putting up there. So throw in your opinions about the minion miner, or send us comments as well, and we can.
This is actually really good material. I really like his post. Mm-hmm. This is really good stuff. The 1% heal per second out of battle for each minion. Like that's gonna be crazy. Yeah, it's a really cool. And I know they listen, so this is the kind of stuff that they're like, you know what, I like this. Before you know it, your idea is implemented in the games and a variant.
I think they run stuff through builds all the time. Like, all right, minion miner gives minions this much damage. Let's run it through and see what happens, and they just kind of test things like that too. I'm sure they're trying something. So that's gonna do it for episode 104. King Dingaling, thanks for joining me. This was awesome.
Thank you for having me. This is actually my first ever podcast, so I really appreciate you letting me come on here, pop my cherry, and have a great time.
Yeah, this was great. Where can people find you on Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff before we get out of here?
Oh, goodness, you're making me plug it. Okay. On Twitter, hit me up at Glock Redwind, GLOCKREDWIND. I know it's weird. It's an old name game tag. Don't hate me. King Dingling, though, on Twitch.tv. King Ding-a-ling, A-H Ling. Hit me up there. Come by. See me anytime. Have a good time. We get lit. We have fun.
Nice. Then Shatter the Veins on Twitter, at Shatter the Vein. Website, shatterthevein.com. All the episodes are there. Links to iTunes, Stitcher, the YouTube version. So you can see that. You can see it, watch it, whatever you want to do, go over there. And that'll do it. It'll probably be a patch rundown episode coming up soon in episode 105. We'll do that, go through all these changes again and all the hero balances. Whew, a lot of stuff.
Lots of stuff. And today even went long. Only can imagine that one.
I know, yeah, it's crazy. But thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me. Take care.